Hi, my friends. It's just Kim. How are you? I'm sorry I keep forgetting to put that microphone in there so you can hear me better. I hope you're doing. I'm sitting outside, as you can see, in my patio. It's a gloomy day, the gloomy, yucky day. It's been really, really cold here in Florida, and we're going to be getting more rain, a lot of rain tomorrow. But I wanted to come on today because I get a lot of messages, private messages from people who are really, really struggling with grief. And they reach out to me because, of course, I get it. I totally understand it. And believe me, I'm not a trained professional, although I've done a ton of research. But I wanted to talk to you about grief. I don't like the word healing from grief because I don't think you ever really heal from grief. You just learn how to kind of live your life and change your life around grief, because you don't stop grieving for somebody. But grief has a couple different facets. We grieve a lot of different things. We grieve the loss of a loved one, or we grieve the loss of ourselves. I have a lot of friends who have really bad chronic illnesses, cancer, things like that, and they grieve, and they're older. You know, they can't do some of the things that they used to do before, and so they're grieving that. I know I grieved for myself when I kind of lost myself in all my caregiving and all that stuff. I lost that person who I was. And so you do grieve that as well, but it's a different kind of grieving when you've lost a loved one. And so I wrote down some ideas. Like I said, I don't know that you ever heal from grieving. I feel that your life just changes and you don't heal from it because it's always there. And no matter, depending on how much you love somebody, or, I know a lot of people grieve for their animals. I know I grieve every time we lose one. We're losing one tomorrow. And it breaks my heart, and I always grieve for them. It's different with a child as opposed to a husband or a friend or a grandparent or a parent or something like that. So the thing about grieving is nobody can tell you how to do it. Nobody can tell you how to grieve. It's all you. It's what you need, where your head's at, where your affection for that person or animal or whatever is, and you have to process it in your own way. But I did have some tips here that I thought might help you to process some of that, or help you process it so that you can move on and create the life that you want to have, because we can't live in grieving. We can't live there. We have to learn to adjust our lives, keep their memories with us. Like I said, my boys are always with me. It's a hard one. Nash's birthday is this month, and he would be 27, but he's forever 22. And, just losing Zach. So there's a lot of emotion with me going on right now. And I have my own processes of doing things. I don't think there's a 5-step program. I personally don't buy into that. I think that you have to go through it at your own pace, your own way, and the way that you feel is best for you, as long as you don't get stuck in it. Because if you get stuck in it, it's just not a good place to be. So I made a couple notes that I thought might be helpful. And the first one, of course, is being gentle with yourself. You're allowed to grieve. You should grieve. You should feel the sadness, cry. I know I had some of my best crying sessions in the shower and in the parking garage at the University of Utah Hospital. That's where I was able to cry, to kind of scream, to just let her all out and be what I needed to be. And still to this day, I find my little places where it works for me. I can grieve at the beach or sitting by the pool or whatever I'm doing. And so you have to find how to treat yourself right and give yourself that permission to feel. Because if you don't give yourself that permission to feel, you're not going to be able to not heal, like I said, but to be able to create the life that you want to have. Express your feelings. There's people like me out there. There's a lot of us out there who are going through this. Express it to them. And if family members or people, your friends don't understand, help them understand it a little bit. And they'll never have empathy unless they've gone through it, but they can sympathize with you, and they can maybe give you some help to help you get past that feeling that you're having right now. Hi, Lori. So it's allow yourself to do that. Express your feelings, express it. Even talk to yourself in the mirror if you have to. Tell your dog, whatever, but express those feelings, get them out. Stay connected to people. One of the worst things that you can do when you're going through the grieving process is to isolate yourself and you close yourself off from everything. I also say with this to change your patterns. So if you change, if what you were doing prior to losing your loved one, prior to your illness, prior to losing yourself, prior to whatever is causing you to grieve, change your patterns. Because if you don't change your patterns and you don't change what you're doing, you're not going to be able to move forward and move on with the new life or the new things that you need to be doing to better yourself. Practice self-care. And by self-care, I don't mean you have to go have a massage or a manicure or whatever. You know, take a shower, sit with candles, meditate, figure out, just do what you need to do. Get a new haircut, buy some new clothes. Self-care is super, super important. And you have to make sure, because if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to drain yourself. And that makes the grieving process even a whole lot harder. So take care of yourself, give yourself the little bennies that you need. If it's a hot fudge sundae, have the hot fudge sundae. If that's going to make you feel better, do it, because we have to do what's going to make us feel again. Because a lot of us, I know for me, I go in this numb period where I feel nothing. I'm just numb, and you don't want to stay there. You don't want to do that. So I have to find things to make me feel again and to make me get excited about things again and set goals and get excited about those goals. Allow yourself time. There is no time period. People can't say, what do you mean? I mean, it's amazing when people have never gone through this process and they've never lost a loved one. And they're like, it's been 2 weeks, get over it. Come on, move on. There is no time limit and you never get over it. And those people who say those kind of things don't understand it. They just don't get it. Give yourself time. Just don't get stuck in that time. Give yourself time and allow yourself to feel and do all these things I'm saying, but you have to then take the steps to kind of evolve and move beyond that. Like I said, you never move on. You never get over it. It's always there. You just learn how to live with it. Seek help if you need it. I am not a fan of counselors and psychiatrists since they killed Nash. I am not a fan of them. I'm not a fan of medication. But that's me. You guys have to figure out what works for you. I think that quite often counseling and psychiatry and those things keep you in that moment. It's kind of like doctors who medicate you but don't really find out what's wrong with you. It keeps you as a customer. And I find that, a lot of people who go to these group sessions and do these counseling sessions and things like that, they seem to move past it much slower, in my opinion anyway, from what I have seen. But I know some people who have said they had wonderful, wonderful experiences with counselors, and that's great. Find what works for you. Again, don't isolate. Do not get stuck inside yourself. Do not get stuck inside your head. Get outside, change your routine, do something different. Start an exercise program, go to the gym, go to church, go do something that you don't normally do, and do it often. Do several things. It's just going to make you feel better. It's going to get you out there with people. And if you start to cry, you start to cry. It's okay. It's okay. And if people can't understand that, they don't need the whole story. We're allowed to do this kind of stuff. Join a support group. Now, again, I'm not a fan. I joined a couple after I lost Nash, and they were great for the first couple weeks. But then I could see there was this pattern of people who were really stuck in their grief, and that is kind of who they became. I don't want that to become who I am, so I had to back out of those groups. I'm not a fan of groups myself, but I do see they do help a lot of people. And it does help for a while if you get in those groups and you're able to talk about what is affecting you, what is bothering you, what's hurting you, how are you feeling? And then sometimes there's some really creative steps to step beyond that. Learn your triggers. What triggers you? For me, I was on the beach and there was this adorable family. It was 2 adults my age, and they had an adult son with them that was probably in between Nash and Zach's age, and they were taking pictures on the beach. And it was just lovely, and it just brought back wonderful memories for me. And I went up to him, I said, can I take a picture of all of you together for you? And I took the picture, I took several pictures, and I lost it. I just started bawling. I couldn't even, they said, do you want a picture? And I was done. I was in tears. I was like, okay, because I can't do that anymore. And so it's something that you have to figure out what is it that triggers you. Is it certain foods? Like if I go into a certain store and I'll see something and it will remind me of something that either Zach or Nash would have done, you know, it will emotionally get me sometimes. So find out what that trigger is and try to maybe not avoid it, but maybe avoid it in certain circumstances. Because like I said, we need to feel for our loved ones that are gone. And ourselves. Like I said, a lot of people that are sick and have lost their ability to do all the things that they used to do, that is also grieving. So if there's triggers that make you really upset that you can't, you know, play tennis anymore, maybe it's better to stay away from the tennis court for a little while. You know, maybe it's better to stay away from driving past certain places. So just find out what those triggers are and try to, you know, prevent doing them as much as possible. Social media, I got to tell you, is awesome because it saved me in all my situations because I had been taking care of Zach for so long. I didn't have, hi Cassidy, I love you too, sweetheart. I didn't have a huge outside circle anymore because of taking care of Zach, because Chet's sick, because of Nash, all these things that went on. My circle just kept shrinking smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. But getting on social media, I had a lot of friends that had gone through similar things, some not, some have never gone through any loss at all, some have, but they were encouraging to me. They inspired me. And for me, if you can find people that inspire you, those are your people. You want people around you that are positive, excited about life, new things. You know, I don't want to be hanging out with the people who are doing, you know, sitting around watching TV. I want the people that are out doing stuff. They're out taking walks. They're out on the beach. They're going to exercise class. They're doing Zumba. They're doing, you know, whatever, trying new things. That was one of the biggest things that I think helped me through so much. And I'm still going through it, guys. I mean, believe me, I still have, I mean, it's still so fresh. And like I said, Nash's birthday is next week. And so that brings up this whole memory thing. Again, that's one of my triggers. It's hard, but what did I do? I made plans for that day to go try something absolutely new. I'm going to go play music bingo. I've never done it before, but I'm going to go with my new friend and we're going to go play music bingo and have lunch. And they do line dancing and all this kind of stuff at a place called the Neon Shack in Panama City. So when those triggers are coming for you, the holidays, those things that upset you, just really try to think of something out of the norm that's totally different than what you normally do for you. And like I said, give yourself the freedom to do it. Do not get down on yourself. Don't feel that, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be doing this. I'm supposed to be feeling this way. No, you're not. You're supposed to be feeling exactly the way that you're feeling and that you want to feel. So I didn't want to go on. I didn't want to do a whole bunch. I just wanted to say, reach out to people. And like I said, Facebook is a great option because I have all these people now who I never knew before who have reached out to me, who have felt very lonely, very lost, very isolated, secluded from the world because nobody understands what they're going through. They've lost all their friends, which is a very common phenomena with either someone who gets really sick or gets really sick kids, or they lose loved family members, their children, especially their children. People tend to just shy away because they don't know what to say to you. They don't know how to react. They don't know how to respond. They just don't do anything. So as that time goes on, I talked to a friend the other day who called me from Mexico and she says, Kim, I'm so embarrassed. She said, I cannot believe I haven't called you. She said, I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. And if you're got people that are going through this, say something. It doesn't have to be anything prophetic. It doesn't have to be a life-changing thing. Just say, hey, I'm thinking of you, and I just want you to know that I'm thinking of you, because that is so important to people who are going through either catastrophic problems, like maybe like we just had the tornadoes or hurricanes, or they're going through loss of their child, their spouse, the loss of themselves because they've got cancer or another debilitating disease. Just extend, if you're not going through any of this yourself, extend yourself out to someone who is. Exactly, Lori, respect. Make them feel that you're thinking of them. They don't have to know that, they don't have to know the whole story. They don't have to know everything that's going on, and they don't have to fall apart or give you some advice that, you know, is going to change your life. They just need to let you know that they care. And that's all. Those words in itself are everything. I get people all the time who send me messages saying, I don't know what to say. I just never know what to say. And I'm like, you just did. It's just fine. You contacted me. That's all I needed. And now my day is feeling better. So I have people who check on me every single morning, you know, and I do amazingly well. I am lucky I was raised by one of the strongest women I've ever known in my entire life, because she gave me that strength. I also am lucky because I had 2 boys that gave me so much strength, and they're still with me. So I'm just telling you guys, kind of look at these steps again. I'll go through them really fast just so you know. So if you're trying to, like I said, I don't like the word heal, but if you're trying to live with your grief and learn how to find a different life for yourself, because when we lose people, our life becomes different. But be gentle with yourself, express your feelings, stay connected to people, practice self-care, allow yourself time, no time limit on grief, seek help if you need it, do not isolate, change your routine, change your life, join a support group if you need, learn your triggers so that you don't, you know, they're coming, like Nash's birthday. How am I going to alter this so I don't have to sit around and be sad? And use social media and reach out to people who are going through the same thing, or maybe have gone through it and are out there helping and being inspiring to others. Anyway, guys, that's all I had to say. Lori, oh, thank you, Lori. You're so sweet. You guys are awesome. Like I said, I've been so fortunate, and I feel so blessed because a lot of people from social media that I didn't hang out with when I was in school or something like that, and we've become friends. We've got, you know, people all over the world that I have no idea who these people are really. I've had the best, most inspiring conversations with these people, and they've changed my life. I mean, it's just really amazing how a stranger can become so meaningful to you, how a stranger can affect your everyday. Because I know that if it wasn't for social media, I don't know how people handled the grieving process or handled loss before, because it had to have been very sad, because you had books to read, which are great. In fact, there's a new book I'm reading that Melissa Deemer sent me, who is Zaki's love, called Signs. And I'll show that to you. I'll put a link in for it, but it's about signs from ones who have passed on. And it's really very interesting. Oh, my dogs are going crazy. There must be somebody at the door, but I'll post a link of that on my page too. But anyway, guys, I love you and I appreciate the support. You guys amaze me. And because you're there, you reach out to me and say some of the most amazing things to me, and I just absolutely love it and I appreciate it so much. I hope you all have a wonderful day. We're losing one of our pups tomorrow, so it's kind of breaking my heart. She just can't breathe anymore. She's just really, really struggling, and so tomorrow's going to be sad, and I'll post probably about that too. But again, thanks for following me, guys. Love you tons. And I appreciate, when you watch my videos, if you watch them all the way through, it helps me. I don't want to go be a waitress right now. So anytime you guys watch my videos, it's helpful for me. It really, really is. And I love you, and take care of yourselves. And we will talk again soon. Bye-bye, my friends.